And welcome. Let's do some analogous lips. We are going to use the yellow from the 12 set, PC916, the orange from the 12 set, PC918, the red from the 12 set, PC924, and the violet from the 12 set, PC932. Okay, so to begin, after you gather these colors and sharpen them to perfection, let's take a look at what we have here. So let's do some math. Fun, right? Okay, so we got 2 1/4, right? So we're just going to make it 3 1/4. Let's see what our lucky number is here. Ooh. 2 3/4, right? Draw on your ruler if you have to. That's what I always do. 2 3/4. I don't know. 3 3/4 might be kind of big. Let's just check it out. So 3 3/4. Did I say 3/4? I gotta check again. Okay. You guys love fractions, right? And then if this is, we're just adding an inch on to each side. Let's just say 2 1/4. We'll make it too bad. Now 90-degree angles are important. You are not a machine. So always reference something that has a 90-degree corner. And then I'm assuming that this is the end of the line. Let's just mark that. Boxes do need to be neat. Alright, so measure both sides. What was the magic number? It was 3 3/4. Help with fractions. Ask your teacher. I'm going to put the absolute line there. Alright, so now I can take my square tool or whatever it may be, pop off my box. Okay, so this is just basic how to draw a box. That does not look correct, but when we do our X grid, we sure will find out if it's correct or not, right? We'll make the necessary adjustments. It's probably just the camera doing that. I'm looking on the screen. Let's measure again. Let's just double check this. Maybe I didn't do it right. 3 1/4. Nope. Right there. So check your lines and make sure you're good. It's important. It's a rectangle. The corners have to be square. All right, so here we go. I'm just going to make some adjustments here. Okay, so time for the X. Should be familiar with this. If I go too fast, you can always pause and catch up. All right, so there we have that. Oh, now we get to do math again because we have to find the centers. To be truly 1/4, it will have to go 2. So let's split it down the middle. 1 1/2. I love drawing on the ruler. That way, side. My ruler doesn't fit against the camera. All right, so we've got the center. So we got the X and then the crosshairs. And then we must have a clean ruler not to dirty our page. All right, so 3 1/2. It's 2 inches. So if we take, this is the easy way I do it, if we take 3 and divide it in half, And, ooh, turning out right. But you know what? We're going to take the word for it here and make sure that our straight. That helped us find the center, so hopefully you go in that order. Now we have to find the diamond shape. Have our X grids. Now let's do our contour drawing. Let's start with the outer edge right here. Remember we used cheek comes through right about here. Just adjust it, guess and check. Eye socket, something like that. Okay? Just matching the line on the side. Now let's all of the nose here. Sure, right into this intersection. Let's mark the jelly bean shaped or kidney bean or whatever stroll shape. Outline our shadow just a wee bit. Cupid's bow, let's just mark that. Got that lip highlight, don't want to dirty that area. You know, there's some lines that may or may not exist. We're just going to kind of mark where everything goes. And we will shadow here. Dark shadow. I put some visual aids into the lesson to mark where things go, just to kind of help you guys. Now, there's not really much of a line there except that highlight, but chin shadow and just marking, making a contour map. So we have most of it in. If you take a photo of it with your phone, your eye will find all the errors. I'm looking on the screen. So we have a shadow here. I don't want to mark too much, but we are using analogous colors, so the purples first. All right, we're 8 minutes in. It took 8 minutes for me to draw the grid and get the contour lines in, and once again, let's take it out and see how many ghost lines I end up with later. So hopefully you guys remember. You know, I've only done this 1,000 times, and I probably have ghost lines. It's worse if you use a mechanical pencil. Getting rid of our grid. Don't need it all the way, but then we're going to color over it. Now, if I end up with ghost lines, it's definitely something we don't want in projects. So good thing this is just basic training. I think that's enough to work with. You might be like, where do the lines go? But I think we know where they are. We don't graphite smudging into Prisma just doesn't look pretty. Okay, so first things first, you need to sharpen all of these. If your pencils aren't sharpened all the way, your colors will look lumpy. Using violet for the shadows, red and orange. Just get away with using yellow, but I'm going to sharpen it anyways. You never know if you want to. So let's begin. Now, I'm not going to use very much brown in this one. In fact, I'm just going to dive straight into using violet instead. We'll see. Maybe I regret it. You know, I'm just going to very delicately shade all my shadows. To take out this line. That's all. So remember, layers are important right now. If the grid is getting in the way of the details of the lips, original photo in the lesson. Now that I'm looking at this, it looks like I may shrink it down a little bit. Okay, so one thing I'm noticing is it's really not far away. This nostril is a little bit bigger. Don't let these fat lines fool you. But still, this is very straight right here. slowly get it in there. Should mark where the hair is at. Right about. Can't see. And then we have this dark line that really frames out the cheek. Hair texture. Right, we can add more violet layers in. We do have some areas that need to be emphasized, but we can lay. Okay, so a little bit of base colors of red, violet. Let's go ahead and put some red in there. So I'm going to go over my tones. So shadows are violet, tones are red violet, and highlights can be red, orange, yellow. We can see how far we can pull this through. violet is at to kind of give it some depth. Some other violet areas. Do you need some red over there before I go over it again in violet? Sharpen my violet. I'm a little worried the yellow might end up over blending. Let's just play around with it and see what we can get with the red and get some, just aiming for the highlights here. So let's just take a look at those and see how it looks. haven't used any orange, but we could. So we just need more layers. We have all of our colors in place now. I like to see the mid-tones pulled out a little bit more. So you could start completely with a base coat of red or something like this. Nice layer of red. themselves don't look she would have without the grid on it to really see the shadows in there. Always is this corner comma shaped pit. lines. Oopsie. Brushing, but it takes longer. It's about done. Layers, layers, layers. And we have lots of ghost lines, which is absolutely awful. But you know, this paper is thin, so just be careful. If I could correct anything, it would be the. I could try and erase the pit and natural. Try. Just down below this midline. It's the one thing I wish I could correct. Just have a little bit of alignment issues, but go ahead and stop there. There's a few unfinished points, but just try to touch up your work the best you can. And the point here is really thin, slow process layers. I'd rather you put all the layers in correctly than to rush.